Hello everybody, this is Dr. GSS Mahapatra here. I'm a senior consultant at Apollo Hospitals Bhubaneswar and at Nurture Clinic Patia. I I thought it wise to come up with a educative and informative video both for the common people as well as for the budding gynecologist for their knowledge as to the role of inositols in polycystic ovarian syndrome. We all know PCOS is very rampant nowadays. Maybe every two young females in advanced metropolitan cities suffer from PCOS and their symptoms. And I thought it wise to you to let and educate and inform all of you as to why inositols are prescribed and especially why they are becoming slowly the favorites of doctors like us who want to give their patients treatment in the form of natural things and not in the form of oral contraceptive pills which are the patients themselves are reluctant to take as well. So when we talk of PCOS, it appears like a whole big elephant, and most doctors find themselves as blind men describing the elephant like a spear, like a snake, like a wall, or like a rope. It is really a huge spectrum of disease, as in the words of Roy Homburg. It became a disease from a medical curiosity to a disease of multisystemic endocrinopathy. It is very difficult to describe. It is a chronic multisystemic endocrine disorder characterized by irregular menses, hirsutism, I mean abnormal growth, obesity, hyperlipidemia, increased lipid levels, androgenation, I mean the male hormones are increased. There is insulin resistance, there is subfertility. Patient faces problems of fertility and patient faces the problems of enlarged polycystic ovaries on ultrasound. And what we treat the patients or what the patient comes to us or knows about is just the tip of the iceberg of PCOS, because patient comes to us with infertility, hirsutism, and maybe scanty cycles or scanty ovulation or anovulation. But that is just the tip, because beneath the tip of the iceberg lies a lot of cardiometabolic risks, obesity, impaired glucose regulation, and increased lipid levels and blood pressure, the chances of increased endometrial carcinoma and breast carcinoma in future as well. What could be the increased reasons for the rising incidence of PCOS? You will be alarmed to understand to know that there is that in prevalence in only adolescents can be up to 36%. So the prevalence is high, and 75% of PCOS patients are obese, and most interestingly this is mainly due to a genetic predisposition and the epigenetic factors like stress, diet and environment. I repeat, stress, diet and environment are very crucial in the patients to act as triggering factors so that the patient develops PCOS. There is associated thyroid dysfunction, there is infertility, as I said, scanty menses. But what we are going to talk about is myoinositols. So how myoinositols and D-chiroinositol, that is the inositols, are related to PCOS is that ionositols are basically of 9 types, and there are two stereoisomers, myoinositol and D-chiroinositol, which are of relation to us today in this slide and to our disease of PCOS. So there is increased myo to D-chiro epimerase conversion in these patients with PCOS, and hence that is the reason why the insulin resistance and hyperinsulin levels, hyperinsulinemia, are in that cycle. That vicious cycle is initiated and further aggravated by those patients where the myo is to D-chiro ratio is altered. There was this wonderful study in 2014 where they aspirated follicular fluid samples from patients, and they found that the ratio of myo to D-chiro dropped from 100 is to 1 in healthy participants to 0.2 is to 1 in PCOS patients. So this was one of the first patient studies to establish that those patients where the ratio was altered, there was significantly higher levels of insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia and LH levels. So the physiological balance of these two stereoisomers is very crucial in restoring the ovarian functionality. As is obvious in this slide, these insulin resistant PCOS women show a 47% DCI deficiency in periphery and 28% myodeficiency at the level of the ovaries. So, and that there is increased clearance of D-chiroinositol, around 5 to 6 times increased clearance of D-chiroinositol in the PCOS patients, and that is why the altered ratio occurs. So what is the connection between PCOS and inositols? As I was talking, there is 5 to 6 times more urinary clearance of inositol, so there is a deficiency of D-chiroinositol, and hence the myo to D-chiroinositol ratio is altered in these patients. So when you give them in the right combination, they improve the hormonal parameters, metabolic parameters, reproductive aspect, and they work wonderfully both in the overweight as well as underweight women with PCOS. You know, talking of the treatment of PCOS, no single agent has been able to address the entire spectrum of PCOS. Even hormonal strategies do not mitigate the metabolic abnormalities. Patients do not like to be on pills for long, and anti-androgen therapy has well recognized teratogenic potential. So we have to explore newer things, and in the form of maybe nutraceuticals. So first came metformin, and then came myo-inositol to be a miracle pill. Now my metformin has been time tested. Myo-inositol was projected as the new kid on the block with a lot of promise, but I would say that now it is no more a new kid on the block, and when compared to metformin, it gives a much better efficacy in the form of better spontaneous ovulation, higher rates of pregnancy, less miscarriages, and the most noticeable thing is that the side effects which patients are normally scared about, the side effects in the form of in the form of nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which occurs normally with metformin, is absolutely absent with high doses of myo-inositol as well. These are studies which prove the fact. And inositol, a few things about it, is commonly found in fruits. It is found in grapefruits and all citrus fruits except lemon. It is found in all vegetables and all foods except foods containing seeds like beans, almonds, and walnuts. It helps in regulation of various hormones like FSH, LH, TSH, insulin. So the balance between these is very crucial to maintain the reproductive axis, to restore the ovulation, and to improve the oocyte quality, and as well as the hormonal functions, that is the reduction of clinical and biochemical hyperandrogenism and as of lipidemia. This is a schematic diagram which shows how myo-inositol improves the ovulatory function and D-chiroinositol reduces the peripheral hyperinsulinemia. Hence, both are beneficial in PCOS. Another schematic diagram. And so, when they are given together, they work synergistically. They improve both the oocyte energy status and oocyte quality. And in the 2013 International Consensus Conference, they identified the clinical role of myo and D-chiron in the management of metabolic syndrome and PCOS. So when inositols are given, they help in mood elevation, they help in cell survival and growth, they help in the central nervous system functioning, they help in osteogenesis, they help in metabolism by increasing the sensitivity of insulin, decreasing the total and LDL cholesterol levels, increasing the HDL, which is the nice cholesterol. They help in reproduction wonderfully by increasing oocyte and egg quality. They increase the fertilization rates. They increase the sperm quality, motility, and mitochondrial membrane potential. This is another study. These are all studies which when together, they showed a significant reduction of LH, free testosterone, fasting insulin levels. So the pragmatic use of inositol is with metformin or with ovulation induction drugs. In ART, they can be given as a monotherapy as well. But what is our opinion if you ask me on D-chiroinositol 150 milligram? Then I would say that since this vicious cycle is mainly dependent on the greater clearance of D-chiroinositol, it will be optimal to use D-chiroinositol in a dose of 150 milligram twice daily at least, so for 6 to 8 weeks, so that it has been shown to show a significant 73% reduction in free testosterone levels, 83% improvement in insulin sensitivity index, and 35% reduction in the LH-FSH ratio. So the one beautiful articles have come up in the journals which show that when given together in the adequate dosage, they have not been associated with any adverse effects, and inositol is generally regarded safe and can be used in pregnancy as well. So when we use these drugs, there were wonderful study in the European Review in 2014. They also showed when they are given for at least 60 days in pregnant women, especially PCOS patients, we should all know that they are prone to develop gestational diabetes and pregnancy-induced hypertension in the second trimester afterwards in pregnancy. So when given, when myo and D-chiro are given, they cause a significant improvement in the glycemic and lipid parameters without affecting the diastolic blood pressure. So another beautiful question, that whether they help in those PCOS patients who are going for IVF. Absolutely yes, because myoinositol improves the oocyte quality and oocyte maturation. There was this study in 2014 where they showed that it reduced the FSH units required for IVF. The number of mature oocytes retrieved were higher, and why myo and D-chiro when added, they increase the mean number of top quality embryos and then in the total number of pregnancies. So when they act together, myo at the level of ovary, it improves IVF results, increases oocyte levels, normalizes LHFS ratio, which is normally altered beyond 2:1 in PCOS patients, and D-chiro acts at the peripheral levels. It stimulates the glycogen synthesis and reduces the risk of metabolic syndromes. So we should not be going on a dosage of 40:1, rather we should be giving the adequate proper dose which is required. And there was this another study which showed that the risk of ovarian hyperstimulation is less with these medicines, and rather their pregnancy and live births are significantly higher when you give myo and D-chiro together. So considering all the functions which myo and D-chiro can be of immense help, I would rather take this as an opportunity to educate all of you that myo-inositol and D-chiro when given in the proper ratio can do wonders probably to all patients in PCOS. Thank you all of you.